live for the July Sonoma TID meeting. Go ahead, Norm.
Okay. Tim, why don't you introduce yourself now?
Sure. So my name is Tim Zahner with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau.
Norman Krug, Sonoma Valley Inn. Dare.
Dare Sturgis, MacArthur Place Hotel and Spa.
Hunt.
Hunt Bailey, Sonoma Valley Escapes.
Christopher.
Chris Wingerberg, The Lodge at Sonoma.
Sue.
Sue Casey, interim city manager for the city of Sonoma.
And I see we have Dan Parks coming in. Dan, as soon as you are on, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Looks like Dan is currently muted. Dan, if
Why
you
don't
have
we
the
start
ability-
the meeting by me saying seeing there's no public comment. There is no agenda item for consent, and we're going to go right into the financial budget because of the time restraints. And Tim, could you put that financial budget up on the screen so everybody can see it, please?
Of course. Here we go. Can people see my screen with the budget on it? I hope. Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Tim,
In
lieu of
to see what you guys can see. So there's the budget, Norm, that you guys discussed, and including prior years trailing, so you guys can see that.
Would you do me a favor, please, in lieu of Dan Parks being on, would you walk
Can you
us through the
hear
budget?
me yet?
Dan is on, so Dan is here. It looks like he can.
I'm here, but can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear you, Dan. Yep.
Okay, fantastic.
Dan, would you introduce yourself for the recording?
Well, I'm Dan Parks, the treasurer from in Sonoma. And I think what Tim has put up here is what we had our little subcommittee budget review. And this is what we came up with as our best approach to the next year.
Could you walk
And-
us through it, please?
Pardon me?
Would you walk us through the budget that you're proposed, we came up with as a committee that we're asking for approval on?
Okay, I think the budget reflects that as things have turned out, this past winter has been very good to most of us. We're a little bit above budget. We've filled in the years that went low. And so we've suggested what should I say, a projection of revenues for this year of $800,000. It could be argued that that's a little low compared to what's happening, but we also recognize that this past winters might never happen again. It was the pent-up demand that filled us up in times that we struggle in the past. And so looking down through it, it's very similar to budgets of the past. Other than last year, which was
Last
the
year was-
COVID year.
Dan, I think you should point out some of the changes, particularly in the contingency fund.
Okay, and we have we've bumped our total advertising up a little bit to 500,000, but we've included this says group marketings meetings. And I would rather call it cooperative group marketing.
All right.
We are in preliminary talks with Healdsburg to do a joint marketing program with them to market meetings, which don't apply in either case to most of the hotels, but do apply to a few. And we're left out a little bit. The Sonoma County Tourism markets meetings, but they don't like us and they don't like Healdsburg. So that's
I'll change that label to cooperative. I apologize. I should have fixed that label.
And we increased the contingency. Dan, could you explain that, please?
yes, we had used some of the contingency, and we were down to 25. Or no, we were at $50,000. We've increased the contingency to 200,000, which I think gets us in a comfortable place where we don't have to add anything in the future. I don't think that shows on the budget here, but I just wanted everybody to know that we've taken that into account, and that money is in a rolling CD. The banks don't pay much on that, as I think most of us know.
Dan, for purposes of discussion, I'd like somebody to make a motion to approve the budget as submitted, and a second, then we can continue our discussion.
I'd be happy to make the motion to approve it.
Do
And
you have a second?
Hunt was a second.
Okay, are there any questions on the budget by any of the board members?
I have a question, two questions. What was the catastrophe reserve as opposed to your contingency?
I think they're the same phrase. It's an emergency reserve.
Okay. Okay, because it shows 0.
Yeah, that was what. So this is on. This is the wrong draft that I didn't update that. So I just noticed that when Dan was talking, because I should have reflected that. I'm sorry. That both the group meetings marketing, I should have changed that label to co-op group meetings marketing, and then for catastrophic reserve, that should reflect the money that was moved over.
Okay.
Which I have opened the wrong PDF, and I am very sorry about that. I can try to do the right one.
No worries.
You're
I
live?
just had a question. I just wonder what the difference was. So.
okay, I think it's important that we're approving the
Yeah,
correct
you're right.
one.
Yeah.
The correct one, you're gonna have to
No,
put the correct one up, Jim.
Yep. Give me a second here. Let me stop sharing for a brief second here. Hopefully I can do this right. Let's all, no pressure to do a spreadsheet correctly on live thing here. So Dan, the amount we moved into the catastrophic reserve was how much again?
150.
150, thank you. Okay. And then we're going to call it co-marketing. Sue, I know this has never ever happened at a city meeting before.
Never.
Let me save this so I don't lose it after this meeting real quick. And again, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna try to share the screen again and we can look at it.
And I'm going to have to ask, so we don't have any question later on, once you put up the new budget, to have Dan and Hunt make a motion to approve the second budget as on the screen, and then we'll call for questions. Dan, could you do that,
Good point.
please? Could you make a motion to approve this budget? The revised budget.
I'll move to approve.
So Hunt's motion is to makes a motion to approve the revised budget as shown on the screen.
Yes.
Which
May I
we're
have a
adding
second? May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Chris
Okay,
seconded it. Okay.
okay, so now we have the motion to approve the revised budget as shown on the screen at this time. And I'll start all over again and ask, are there any questions on this revised budget by the board?
Let's scroll up first.
Sue, do you have anything additional?
So, and just to clarify, there's been no change actually to the budget moving forward. I actually just added something to an expense or that we paid out on this last fiscal year. And then I changed the name of to co-op right here. So there's actually been no change between the proposed budget for the July to June.
Yeah, I get that.
Is there any question that Sue, you have additional?
No,
Dan,
that looks good.
Dan, do you have a question?
No, I think that says it clearly, and I think it makes sense. I hope everybody else does.
Hunt, do you have a question? Dare, do you have a question?
I don't have a question.
Chris?
No questions.
Okay, being there are no questions, I'm going to call for a vote on this budget. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There, Dan,
Anybody
Sue, Chris.
opposed can say nay. Tim, would you record, please, the budget passed unanimously?
I have done it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Sue, I understand you have a time restraint too, so we're going to ask you if you can update us on what's going on at City Hall as it affects us in the TID.
Okay, actually, I just got back from a long vacation, so I'm getting caught up. I was in Europe for 3 weeks, so that's been my last 3 weeks. But as you know, the council is dark in July. And so actually staff is what we're doing now is just playing catch up and getting everything ready for the August 3rd meeting. And that's, really where I met with Tim yesterday about the bathrooms. And so I'll be bringing that up.
Excuse me for just a second.
Go ahead.
So I will, and so I'm going to be talking to our Public Works Director, Mike Berger. I don't know if anybody else has had the chance to meet him. Great guy, a real go-getter. So I'll be discussing with him on Friday, maybe some possibilities about what we can do with those bathrooms. Because yeah, I had never been in the bathroom before. So men's bathroom, yes, needs some work.
It's a field trip we should all take once. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, yeah, field trip, good field trip. So kind of basically just we're doing catch up on the work and getting the budget, finalized, and it's all finalized. It was approved by council, but we're doing our budget book. So kind of that catch up stuff.
Well, welcome back. I hope you had a fabulous vacation and have all your energy to conduct the business of the city of Sonoma. And we thank you. Does anybody have a question of Sue that they might want to ask? If not, we're going to go to you, Tim, and you can update us on the Bureau and the marketing.
Sure. So let me pull this up real quick. So good to see everybody. July is kind of our time, or June and July is kind of like when we're getting ready for the off season, believe it or not. We just did our photo shoot, which if you recall, we shared the vendor with Healdsburg to save some money there. And so we'll be getting those photos and those videos soon, and we can start getting those ready for when we roll them out in November, December, January, February for off-season promotion. The visitor guide is done, and we're expecting it back from the printer in about a week or so. So I got to figure out where to put 6 pallets of visitor guides. So we have our storage facility ready for that, and offloading it. It'll be good. For those that don't know, we started a podcast. We tape it every Friday at KSVY. Gotten 5 of them done. Had the police chief on last week and doing Rancho Maria wines this upcoming week. So we're always looking for guests. So Dare, Chris, Hunt, any of you, if anybody on this Zoom wants to be a guest, let me know. And we can talk about all sorts of things. And we're getting pretty good pickup on it. A couple hundred listeners every episode. So I'm pretty happy about that. Just to let you guys know, the Highway 12 will be affected by closure. It won't be directly in Sonoma, but it will affect people coming from the north up in Kenwood. And then also in the Springs, they're replacing 2 bridges. I'll be working with the businesses up in Kenwood on how to message that they're still open. The majority of business or traffic to Sonoma does come from the south, from San Francisco, Oakland, and Sacramento, but we do get some people coming down from Santa Rosa. So we'll be working on messaging that. It won't be a complete closure, but there'll be pretty long delays, it looks like. And that will start mid-August, supposedly. So we'll have to plan accordingly. Finally, off-season planning is happening now. We're doing a strategy for ad buys and how we're going to do that. Reminder that the lighting in the plaza is in November, and I will be tapping each and every one of you for support and help. And whether it's providing cider and cookies, or in the case of the city, helping out with the permits and stuff like that. But that's always the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So that's my report, Norm. Happy to answer any questions.
May I add one item before we go into questions? Do you have any pending requests that you want to present to the board for grants?
I don't have any formal requests yet, Norm, but I know now that we have the budget open, I'll let people know because they've been asking, and we typically open it in mid-July. So by next meeting, we'll have requests.
And Sue, we are handling the requests that normally come through the city. So if you have requests for people that want grants to subsidize their events, please make sure Tim gets them and passes them on to the board so we can review them and consider them.
Yeah, I would love to know what the grants are, what the parameters of the grants are and who can apply. That would be great. So when we get those kind of requests, we can pass them on.
Perfect. I'll send you the
Tim, will
application
you arrange
information.
to give Sue the information that she's requesting?
Yep.
That being said, do we have any other questions on the marketing report that Tim, thank you for giving? Are there any questions? If
I
not,
did. I'm sorry I had to leave for a second. Did we get an update at all from the Healdsburg?
No, that's a good question, Dan. So one, when you left, we assigned you everything. So don't ever leave a meeting. No. Second of all, waiting for Healdsburg to set a date for our next meeting. And so I've been talking to them, and they're going to come back to us. So I believe sometime at the end of July, they'll extend the invitation. So I will follow up and ask about that. I know they've been on vacation and the like, but it's time to get this back into gear.
So we'll look for that to be on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss that.
Good point. Thank you, Dan.
so noted. Any other questions of Tim? Okay, thank you, Tim, for your update. Are there any other items that any board member would like to bring before the board? If not, I'm going to ask for the approval of the minutes of June 9th, 2022. For purposes of discussion, can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
And I need a second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the minutes of June 9th be approved. Are there any comments or questions or anything on those minutes before we call for the vote? Hearing none, I'm going to ask for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The minutes, all those opposed signify by saying nay. The minutes, Tim, have been unanimously approved. Our next meeting will be held on the second Thursday of August. And I want to thank everybody during their busy schedule for attending today. I know everybody has a lot of commitments, and I have a commitment to go on a boat and go snorkeling in a little bit. So I have the greatest reason to end the meeting above all of you. So anyway, thank you very, very much. Have a great summer, and